Hi, this is Sachin, Executive Engineer in Drilling, working in ONGC. In the previous video, we discussed about the mud circulation system. Like this was the mud circulation system. This was mud pit or tank, and this was mud was being pumped into the drill string up to the bottom, and this mud was coming back with cuttings at shale shaker. These cuttings were separated, and this mud comes to the suction tank. When this mud comes from shale shaker to the suction tank, in between there are around 3-4 equipments which has different purpose. From shale shaker to the suction tank, in between there are 3-4 equipments. Name of these equipments are like, first one is degasser. This degasser is used to remove the dissolved gas from the mud. As you can see, this mud is continuously circulating in a closed circuit, but when this mud goes down through the string and when it comes up through this open hole, some hydrocarbon, say oil or gas, from the nearby zone where we are drilling can enter into the well, and this will come up with this mud and it will mix into the system. If some oil or gas or even water enter into the system and mix, it changes the property of the mud, and that if that mud does not have desired property, that mud is not as useful as it should be. So it is required to remove this dissolved gas from this closed circuit mud. It is desired to remove this. If we will not remove, it will keep adding, this gas will keep adding, and the mud properties will keep changing, and this mud will not be useful for us. So to remove this dissolved gas from this mud here, we use a degasser. This is degasser. This remove dissolved gas and the remaining mud sends to our pit or our tanks. Another equipment is descender and desilter. In descender, as the shale shaker was removing the large size cuttings, but there are some small size, sand size cuttings still remaining. So this descender remove those cuttings or those sand particles. Even further smaller size called silt are being removed by the desilter. And after this, mud becomes clean. So degasser, descender, desilter, and then mud comes to be as a mud ready to be pumped back into the circuit system. Now, there is one important term which many people have heard, like you might have heard, like recently in Assam, at Baghjan, there was a blowout. In our brother company, say Oil India, in Baghjan, there was a blowout. So these are terms need to be learned first. What is blowout? I will tell you little later, but for those who haven't heard, let me give you a brief detail of what happened in Baghjan. We were in Baghjan on 27th May 2020 during COVID lockdown at 10:30 a.m. there was a blowout. What was? There was a blowout. I mean, You must be knowing what blowout is, or I will tell you little later. Some gas, this is the well. From the well, some gas, uncontrolled flow of gas was coming at the surface. And on 27th May, this happened, and the gas was coming out at the surface. On 9th of June 2020, this gas caught fire. Now the gas was coming from the well and fire at the top, so it was burning all around, was damaging the environment, the people, the equipment, and everything around it. And it took for us to control this blowout around 6 months. 6 months. On 15th November 2022, we controlled this successfully. Actually, not we, but some people came from Canada. Some people came from the Canada. On 5th November, we brought in some unit called a Snubig unit by air. And with the help of this unit, we controlled this well on 15th November after 6 months. So it was very dangerous. The gas was coming from the well in an uncontrolled way, and that gas is very much susceptible to fire. That can caught fire at any time. And on 15th November, we controlled it, but on 9th June, that gas caught fire. So it was like fire coming out of the well. So this happened in Baghjan. So this is the blowout. What happened? How this happened? This happened because when this mud is returning, this mud we are sending through the pipes, and it is coming from the out of the bit, and it is coming out of this annulus space, through this annulus space. Annulus is the space between this drill string and the casing or drill string or the open section. What happens is that sometimes some oil or gas may enter into this mud, like this. Now you will say it is good. We are drilling a well. Our purpose to drill a well is to get some oil or gas, and now we are getting some oil or gas. So it's good for us? No, it is not good for us. Why? Because this entering of this oil and gas is not at all in our control. We want to produce oil and gas, but at a controlled rate, at desired time, not at random time. Now we are drilling the well. We are not ready to collect this. So if this enter into our system, that is a problem for us. And if this enter, this is called influx. These are few words, like this is called influx. So when this influx enter into the system, suppose this enter into the system, now what happens? What happens is that suppose this oil or gas, say gas, enter into the system, and this is the influx. We call it influx. So this has taken or occupied some volume. And the mud equal to this volume, mud of this volume, because this space has taken by the gas, so some mud will come out, and the level of this pit will increase because some mud of this space will come into this tank. So if we have some gauge connected here, that will show some increase in the tank mud level, and that is the first indication we get at the surface that some influx has entered into our well. So we'll get the first indication when the influx enter. One thing is that this gas is at this much depth, say around 2 kilometer, 2000 meter down. So the weight of this mud is over this gas bubble or this gas volume. When this gas migrates, suppose from here, this reach at surface here, this gas migrates here. So above this, there is no pressure, no weight of this mud column. So it expands and it becomes very, very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. The moment this gas or influx enters into the well, this moment this gas or influx just enter into the well, we call it a kick. That this well has kicked some influx into the well. So we call it a kick. But when this influx, say, of gas reach to the surface and comes out, reach to the surface and come out, then we call it blowout. And this is what happened in Baghjan. This is what happened in Baghjan. It was a blowout. Now, in such situations, when this comes out, what we do is we close both this inside incoming path, we close it. This is the outgoing path, we close it completely. We close it completely so that this does not get out. This does not get out. We closed both way. Incoming path is closed. Outgoing path is closed. It's closed. So this closing is being done by some equipments called BOP. This is the blowout. This is blowout preventer. These are the equipments to prevent the blowout. In Baghjan, that was the problem. That due to some maintenance schedule, this BOP blowout preventer, this BOP blowout preventer was not installed. And from 27th May 2022, the day blowout started, to 18th August 2020, we were struggling to install the BOP. Once it was being installed on 18th August, on 15 November, we controlled the well. But the problem was to install. It is easy to install in the normal condition, but the moment gas is coming out, there is a fire. This gas caught fire. So in fire situation, it is not easy to go and at top of the well and install the BOP. That is not a easy job. So it took time. So this is BOP. So we close it from both ends, incoming path and outgoing path. So whatever is inside will keep inside. And then we do some process called well killing. Well killing is the method in which this influx which entered into the well is removed slowly at a controlled rate. Slowly it is removed, and some heavy mud, this is the mud circulating, this is the normal drilling mud, but some heavy mud, and that heavy mud is called kill mud. This kill mud is pumped into the system. Slowly this influx is removed and slowly kill mud is pumped. What happened due to that? Due to that heavy mud, kill mud, there is a lot of pressure. And this pressure prevents entering of the influx into the well. This get prevented. So no fresh influx is entering, and whatever influx has entered already, that is being slowly removed from the system. When this happens completely, this is called well killing. That well has been killed. In Baghjan, we killed the well completely on 15th November 2022, for which we did one special device or unit, snubbing unit from Canada. We brought that on 5th November from Canada by air. So this is all about kick and blowout. In a layman language, you can see during normal operations, some influx from the fresh formation enter into the well, and that gets expanded as it moves up or as it migrates, which create some volume changes, which get from which we get the first indication that something has entered into the well. Okay, there are different equipments to remove this gas if it is in a small quantity, but if it is in a large quantity, then we cannot remove by the degasser. Sorry. Influx is just what entered. Kick is when it just entered. Blowout is when this influx reaches to the surface. And when it reaches to the surface, there are high chances that it can get fire. Just if it get a small spark, it will get fire. So it become very risky. So anyhow we have to stop it from coming to the surface, for which we use a blowout preventer. If this blowout preventer is installed of right capacity, right pressure rating, then we can close it, and it is also in good condition. It should not happen we close and it is leaking. That's a disastrous problem, disastrous situation. Then we can control the well, and this is called a well killing method. We use heavy mud. This heavy mud is called a kill mud. That's all I can say about kick and blowout. So thank you. If there is any confusion or doubt, can be further explained in more detail, feel free to comment for any suggestion or doubt or questions. Thank you so much.